everybody, Geraldine Rose here. Let's use some dark and light contrast for clout in our cards. I don't have all of this recorded because I was on a Zoom meeting with Traci and some others. The effect is really simple though. Grab out a watercolor panel, grab out some dark, some light inks. You're going to splotch them down in the background and then you're going to drag the darkest color over the top at the end. I blended mine out because I didn't like the marks on there. And then me being me, I also brought in some picket fence. I'm also going to bring in some solar spray. I do like to distress my panels, as we all know. I ran it through the Altenew Zellage Tiles embossing folder so that we've got some texture in the background. I wanted to cut the leaves out so that the veining was showing in the pattern that was on the cardstock. So that's what I was doing, was basically setting the die cuts down from the Craft Flower Amaryllis, making certain that the leaves were sitting over top of where the pattern was on the paper, running that through. I had already done the flower portions, which were along the same line as the panel, that you had dark in the center with a white outside on it. Now that I've got everything cut out, I'm piecing it together. For the pistils and the stamens, I cut some in metallic paper and I cut some in vellum. I'm going to triple them up compared to what they're supposed to be originally. Doubling up the leaves too is going to help to produce an extra frilly effect all through the card. This is one of the die sets that has the keyhole system. Helps to put things together for the very first time. I've done this one before. I'm still referring to the layering guide on the back of the package though to find out where I need to put stuff. For the leaves, I wanted to bring their colors in with what we had happening on the card. So I'm going to use some blues, a darker one, a teal one, and I'm also putting some of the pigment white ink on the end to mimic the white edging that we have on the flower and up towards the one corner of the panel. Smudging it out. This is where I was bringing in the lighter blues on those blades on the leaves. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to add a wee touch of green in there. So I'm brushing sideways on each. Jumped over to doing the sentiment, which was the Altenew Scripty sentiments. I thought, well, I've got cool tones happening here. I better use the silver. So I cut that out, and here putting the tittle in the triangle tray so that I don't lose it. I did cut out extra layers, of course, to stack it up behind. And I thought I would run it through upside down on my cutting plates to bring some texture in on the top of it. But when I held this up to the panel and the flowers, because I didn't have silver anywhere else, I didn't like it. So I brought out the ink. I'm dabbing it in that. I am putting on some Uti embossing powder. I am going to emboss this so that I'm changing the color a little bit so that I'm bringing in those turquoises that we've got happening through the leaves. All right, we're jumping to the inside. We are getting out the Altenew Magnificent branch. I did it in a light purple first, and then I'm bringing in some of the blues in the portion, brushing off the parts that I don't want so that I'm going to ombre it. The next layer, I believe I was bringing in, what, some purple? What did we do? Oh, we did something. Oh, I brought in for that one word. I just deepened it up. Put down some of my post-it tape so that I didn't get the stencil over the inside of the card. Put the stencil in, which was the Altenew Grid one. Brought my brushes in that still had some of the blues and the purples left on them, and I just used what was left on the brushes to do the stencil. Then I am using the Altenew, from Stamptember, the Beautiful Lily, and I'm stamping that over what we had stenciled. On the back, we have our custom stamp. We'll set that down into place. Did that in purple tones to tie in as well. On the panel, we have some of the ultra sticky tape that we'll put down. We'll put a little bit of glue as well to get some wiggle room on that before we put it down on our card base. Arranging our flowers. The one I did pop up on foam tape, as you can see here, that's the one that's down in the bottom corner. And here's where we're just tucking in the leaves. I did have to snip off the ends so that we could fit them in underneath those flowers, but I'm doing them so that they're like a spray around each of those flowers and deciding where we are going to put the sentiment. Brought in this calls for confetti, the prism, because we had to have a little bling bling on here in addition to the solar sprays and the solar paste that were on the flowers. Nipping off the die cuts, the leaves that were sticking out over the edges. And I do believe that that is the finished card. So there we are. Fairly quick. You can get it done in under an hour. Of course, letting your inks dry and whatnot. But everybody go have some fun. Do some experimenting in your craft room too. Thanks for watching and subbing. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.